Hey everybody, meteorologist Mike Slifer here in the First Alert Forecast Center. We are going to get this thing started. So we'll start off with a little chat about what's going on outside right now. We have some freezing drizzle out there, some light and mixed icy mixed showers. So that'll lead to some slick spots tonight. But before we get into that, a little trivia for you. Our snowiest seasons on record. 1995 to 1996 is the snowiest season on record for the Hartford area, followed up by 2010 to 2011. But perhaps what's most interesting about this is that the difference between second and first place is staggering. We are talking almost 30 inches. So certainly a very snowy season, 1995 to 1996. Other notable years, or seasons rather, 93 to 94, 1966 to 67, 1977 to 1978, rounding out the top five. And you'll look there on the right-hand part of your screen, 1960 to 1961, 45 to 46, 47 to 48, 15 to 16. Wow, that's 1915 to 1916 to be clear. And then 55 to 56. So we certainly have seen a lot of snow here previously. Records for the Hartford area go back to 1905. As we head into or approach the second week of the new year, the second week of January, we are still sitting at a bit of a deficit for the Hartford area, 10.9 inches so far this season. Bridgeport, we're at 11.8 inches, a bit of a surplus, but we still have a lot of winter to go. It is a First Alert weather day, not because of snow tonight, but because of freezing drizzle and a bit of an icy mix. And that could lead to a glaze of ice on untreated surfaces, which will make them become slick. Let's head over to First Alert Live Radar, show you a little bit what's going on across Connecticut. We can do a little bit of zoom and chat while we zoom. Basically just sort of take you through what's actually happening in the state right now. We'll start off with a look at the Litchfield Hills. As we zoom in here, Kent, Warren to Torrington and Goshen, we see some mix out there. The pixels of purple going up parts of the Route 7 corridor into, say, Salisbury, where Route 7 and 44 intersect. So some slick spots certainly possible throughout the Litchfield Hills, and even over towards, say, New Hartford and over the border into Heartland. Into Hartford County, that is. So Heartland, Granby, East Granby to Simsbury, Canton, all seeing a little bit in the way of shower activity right now. We're also looking at these mixed showers throughout Tolland County. We'll send our Tolland County up here on the map. So through Tolland into Stafford, Stafford Springs, Staffordville, and Union, and then down through Mansfield, Stores, to Coventry, down to Columbia and Hebron is where we see some of these mixed showers. And these are moving through Willington, too, into Ashford and Eastford. We are keeping an eye on some of these mixed showers that have been falling throughout Windham County specifically. If we zoom into the 395 corridor here, through Putnam, into Pomfret, Woodstock, Thompson, and then over the border into Rhode Island, say the Foster area. In southern Connecticut is where we actually are keeping our eyes on some of these showers that may be more in the way of just plain rain. Through Basra, Baltic, and Sprague into Norwich, through Preston and Voluntown right now, over the border, and again into Rhode Island. Some of these are a little bit farther north, say from Griswold to Sterling, Plainfield too. So that mixing line is going to be right on that, say, Windham County, New London County line, just a little bit farther south there is where we see that flip over from the mainly rain to that icy mix. So if we go back up to the Connecticut view here, you'll note that we still have a little bit more in the way to go. And even right now, Suffield, Enfield into Summers, we're looking at a little bit more of that mix currently. So we still have a lot of time tonight to deal with this icy mix and also the freezing drizzle. And we'll get into why it is freezing drizzle coming up in just a moment. I wanted to show you where the actual area of low pressure is right now, crossing over Lake Erie and approaching Lake Ontario. And that is headed in our direction. Along the lakes, over the lakes, you see those deeper oranges and reds, likely some lake-enhanced rainfall there. And we're watching the snow move into parts of the Adirondacks and into Vermont and New Hampshire. So there will be some minor snow accumulation to our north, but the focus for us is going to be on this icy mix and the freezing drizzle. We are near, if not below, freezing throughout most of eastern Connecticut. 30 in Putnam, 31 in Norwich right now, 32 in Willimantic, Torrington coming in at 31, Salisbury at 32, Windsor Locks at 32. So it's those temperatures that hover right around freezing that will cause the issues tonight, because as the temperatures drop just a little bit more in some locations, that will actually be enough to get them below freezing. So that means that the ground itself will be frozen. So as these water droplets interact with that already frozen ground, they freeze on contact, creating that icy glaze. Here's a live look in our iCam in Hartford. You can see just how damp it is as we look live from atop Hartford 21. That's Pulaski Circle there in the distance, 34 degrees, wind is out of the east, 3 miles an hour. These clouds look like they are just hanging low in the sky. We'll take you next to Windsor Locks, 32, wind out of the northeast, 3 miles per hour, and everything looking very damp in Windsor Locks right now. And our iCam view in Waterbury, where it's currently 33, wind out of the east at 8 miles an hour. The sidewalks on the green are damp, West Main Street is damp. So anything that looks wet, just assume that it's probably icy. We'll battle these showers as the night goes on, and they may be light enough to the point where they're not even being picked up by radar, so a bit of freezing fog, some freezing drizzle, some freezing mist. But the takeaway is that will still be enough moisture to cause a glaze of ice on untreated surfaces. At the same time, we will still at least be tracking some isolated shower activity through about the start of the day tomorrow before things actually improve quite a bit by tomorrow afternoon. When it comes to where the greatest risk for those slick spots will be, anywhere shaded in pink. So it's essentially across our northern 4 counties, but even into northern sections of New Haven, Middlesex, and New London counties, we could see some of that icy mix cause some slick conditions to develop. So just be ready for things to be a little bit slick tonight. And as you step out the door tomorrow morning, improvements expected through the day tomorrow as temperatures peak in the upper 30s and low 40s inland. We're expecting temps in the mid 40s along the shoreline. So we start to trend a little bit milder. So there's the storm system as it slides on through, moving away from us. The cold front crosses, clearing behind it, but there's no reinforcing shot of cold air because we quickly will start to see wind shift to be out of the southwest. And as high pressure scoots by to our south on Thursday, that will lead to a brighter sky. It also means that we will start to move milder air into Connecticut. And we do all of this without much in the way of wind. So the first alert 7-day forecast going from 40 tomorrow to 46 on Thursday. Thursday, by January standards, really will be a very nice day. Again, a lot of sunshine, no wind, big time melting on the way over the next several days. Friday, we're even milder, unseasonably so, 51 degrees, normal high is 35. Rain returns late Friday. It lasts into perhaps early Saturday, and then we get a bit of a lull Saturday, but by Saturday afternoon and evening, we track another round of rain. Still mild out there, 49 degrees. Care will out a shower early on Sunday, then it's breezy, and things will be drying up heading into the afternoon, 38 on Monday, 41 on Tuesday. Now along the shoreline, we'll be in the mid-40s tomorrow, upper 40s Thursday. How about low 50s Friday and Saturday? Back into the 40s on Sunday. Even with those temperatures sliding just a little bit on Monday into the upper 30s, that's still a few degrees above where we typically would be this time of year. And then we're back into the 40s on Tuesday. So the weekend does not look like a washout. Friday morning, high pressure is moving offshore. Wind is out of the south, and that pumps that milder air into Connecticut. As the cold front approaches later Friday, we will see the increasing risk for rain. Rain is favored later on Friday. By Saturday morning, the cold front has crossed, but a warm front starts to push back north. As it does so, it increases our risk for rain. Rain is more likely later on Saturday, and then that will continue into, say, Sunday before that front actually moves on out entirely and will dry things up, and that will be the key to bringing some relatively colder air back to the state. When it comes to snowfall so far this month, 2 inches for the Hartford area, 8.9 inches last month. We typically see 14.2 inches of snow in the month of January, 14.8 in the month of February. On average, February is our snowiest month, and then those normal snowfall amounts drop back through March and especially heading into April. Just to give you an idea of where things are headed, the 8 to 14-day outlook still shows shades of orange over Connecticut. In other words, as we get into, say, the 14th through the 20th, so approaching the mid part of the month, it looks like things could remain near, if not slightly above normal. Certainly a difference compared to where we've been. Every day until today so far this month has been below normal. We are still waiting on the official climate summary for the day, but there is a chance we don't actually see our high temperature until closer to midnight tonight. First Alert 7-day forecast. One final check here on our First Alert Weather Extra. Don't forget, we are on the wax in 20, and we'll be over on Channel 3 tonight at 11. Join us then.